It's no secret Danny McManus loves to throw the football when he's on. The Ticats are always tough to beat. Mike Pringle is a CFL warrior who considers the rushing title his own personal property.
There are two defenders back for their first games this year that can play both the run and the pass. Lester Smith is the quarterback for the Owls defense, and for the Ticats, Gerald Bond plays both the run and pass the same way, with the aggression of a linebacker.
It's a beautiful September Sunday in Southern Ontario. It's the second meeting of the season for the Owls and the Cats. Hamilton still has a chance for second place with a win over Montreal here today.
It is an absolute perfect afternoon for a football game. 17 degrees, the winds northeast at 11 kilometers per hour. In a word here, the conditions are perfect.
Ron Russ Alouettes are regrouping after losing first place to the Blue Bombers last weekend. Russ loves playing in Hamilton, and we'll see how the Owls respond here this afternoon.
Ron Lancaster hasn't had a losing season since his first 2 years in Regina. In the last 9 years, he's won at least 10 games. That's in both Edmonton and here in Hamilton. Coming off a 9-9 season, currently sits at 6-5, third place in the East Division, but does have a game in hand.
That game will be made up in early November. Terry Baker is set to get the proceedings underway at Iberwin this afternoon. Davis and Johnson are back deep. This is Troy Davis to return for the Tiger Cats. Nice little bit of room. Breaks one tackle, and he's out near the 35-yard line. 26 there. As Danny McManus heads onto the field, he stands third among CFL quarterbacks in passing yards heading into the final game of Week 13. McManus and Darren Flutie combined for a game-winning touchdown in overtime against Calgary last week. Slot back Mike Morreale was the Cats' top receiver. The O-line has allowed just 6 sacks all season long, Glenn. However, 3 came last week against Calgary.
Really unbelievable, 6 sacks after 11 games in the season. They've only given up 37 in the last 3 years.
Quick release, and it's Flutie making the catch. Stopped after a gain of a couple.
Defensively for the Alouettes in their front 7, led in the sack department by Swift Birch. He has 7 on the season. Couple of newcomers, not new to the Alouettes, but new to this season. Lester Smith is back at free safety, and Torrey Hunter, the former Edmonton Eskimo, is playing the halfback. Of course, started his career in Montreal.
Starting lineup brought to you by Midas. Keep a good thing going. Go Midas. 11 touchdowns for McManus. Just 6 interceptions. Second down, quick release again. Over the middle, and the Ticats will have a first down. Andrew Grigg, usually spotted heading down the sidelines, not over the middle, but he comes up with his first catch of the game.
Well, this has not been Danny McManus' best season, but he's on pace for 4,591 yards. That's pretty good. His best season was over 5,000, and he hasn't thrown a whole bunch of interceptions this year, and that's been the big difference for him.
Hitting on almost 60% of his passes at 58. Here's Troy Davis, tries the left side, and he's out around midfield at the 55. A 7-yard gain, and Reggie Durden was over to make the tackle.
Well, the leading rusher for the Hamilton Tiger Cats at this point in the season is still Ron Williams. Archie Amerson is out with a rib injury, so Troy Davis will carry the mail for the Ticats in the running game, which, according to Ron Lancaster, won't be very often here this afternoon.
Ticats really haven't run the ball effectively, just 51 yards rushing last week in the win over Calgary. McManus gets it done for the passing game. Troy Davis. And there's a penalty marker down, and Davis has only a couple of yards.
Ron Lancaster said a couple of weeks ago in the media, we're abandoning the running game. We're going without it.
And Davis has carried a couple of times.
Montreal, number 90, first down.
But if they're going to do that, that means Danny McManus now has the pressure on him on first down to try and pick up as much yardage as he can. He doesn't want to be in second and long all game long.
Ticats' key to success this afternoon, as you see it?
Well, I mean, they have to be efficient on first down, no question about it. And if they don't, second and long it's tough.
Caught there at the 10-yard line. Tony Akins, 81, made the catch. Looked like it was a little underthrown.
throwing a little bit behind Eric Reddick, and I don't know if Eric Reddick may have lost this football up in the sun. He turned around and kind of waved at it. It didn't look like he could see the football, and Tony Aikens catches it in behind him. He's in tremendous position down the sidelines. Eric Reddick is right there, but it looked like he lost it. Tony Aikens comes up with a big catch.
Might have been a little lucky on that reception there, but first down efficiency evident. McManus to his right, low, but caught by Morreale at the 5-yard line.
That's something that will surprise the Montreal defense, is to have Danny McManus roll out. Danny McManus is a drop back passer, but he's going to do a little play action toss here and then roll to the outside. Absolutely no containment there from the Montreal defensive line. Of course, they don't expect Danny McManus to run outside very often.
Ticats on their opening drive, looking at 2nd and goal from the Alouette 4-yard line. McManus looked to run, then fired the touchdown. Back-to-back catches for Mike Morreale, who struggled in the early part of the season and had a breakout game last week.
Yeah, he really did. That overtime win for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Mike Morreale was a big part of that win for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He's not having a great season, like you mentioned. Just 350 yards and 1 touchdown coming in. That's his 2nd of the year. Had the dropsies early in the season.
And his first touchdown came last week against Calgary. 6 catches, 84 yards. And Morreale has 2 here tonight, or at least this afternoon, including the touchdown. It's the Ticats on top by 7.
Back-to-back rollouts from Danny McManus. This one for the touchdown. Watch what happens to Steve Charbonneau. Not expecting McManus to roll out. He gets to the outside. Now you see Steve Charbonneau right there. He's playing along the line of scrimmage rather than up the field. That gives Danny McManus time to throw the football. He pulls up. He's got time to load it up and throw a strike to Mike Morreale.
4-yard touchdown reception for Mike Morreale. And here's the Ticat kickoff. Thomas Haskins beginning at the 20 and caught by Chris Schelling after a 10-yard return. Scoring drive brought to you by UPS, moving at the speed of your business.
Well, Tony Aikens got things going with that big 43-yard catch in the sun on Eric Reddick. Mike Morreale finished off the 7-play drive. Good way to start for the home team, get some momentum early. Now can Anthony Calvillo respond?
McManus 5 for 5 on the touchdown drive. Anthony Calvillo had an off week against Winnipeg in Montreal last week, but still kept the Alouettes within 3 points of a victory. Montreal begins at the 30-yard line. First down. Calvillo over the middle and on the money. Ben Cahoon, and he's fired into the tunnel, but he's okay. Calvillo has some good targets, although he's missing Jock Climby. Sylvain Girard had a breakout game against the Blue Bombers. And of course, there's running back Mike Pringle, who remains the key to Montreal's success. Up front, 2 All-Canadian linemen, Pierre Verchevel and Brian Chu. Go. 23 yards for Ben Cahoon. First down, Alouettes near midfield. Here's Pringle, first carry. And the gain is 6 yards.
Well, there may not be a better pass rusher in football than Joe Mumford. 13 sacks on the season, the key to that front 7 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. In the secondary, they are very happy to get Gerald Vaughn back at the halfback position. He plays aggressive football as a defensive back, coming back from his NFL tryout.
And here's the guy that every Alouette knows about, particularly the guys up front and the quarterback. Pringle goes against Montford that time, and he should have the first down up near the 45.
Well, I agree with you. When you talk about Joe Montford in Montreal, Montreal has simply got to control Joe Montford if they want to have success in this football game. 13 sacks on the season. He had 2 last week and 2 knockdowns. They have to double, triple, or quadruple team him if they have to. But you got to control Joe Mumford or else you're in trouble against this Hamilton defense.
He's also chipped in 1 interception on this season. And for all of that last week, Mumford named Lineman of the Week. Early movement or a time count violation. Anthony Cavillo did have an off week.
Procedure, Montreal, number 65, first down.
Well, it's interesting what Montreal is doing right now. They've got Kevin Lutherud in there as a tight end. So one way to help combat Joe Mumford is to extend the length of that offensive line, bring in an extra offensive lineman, play almost a tight end to his side, make it longer distance for him to get to the quarterback.
On 1st and 15, Cavillo fires a rocket complete near the 20-yard line. Tyree Davis' first catch of the game, and that was a beautiful pass. 36 yards for the Alouettes.
Well, first of all, it all starts with time for Anthony Calvillo. He has time to stand in the pocket, look down the field, has a throwing lane, and there's Tyree Davis catching that one before Rob Hitchcock can come over there. We talked about putting Lutherud in there as the tight end to control Mumford. They did a nice job of it on that last play. He was not in the backfield.
After a 36-yard gain, the Alouettes are set up at the Ticat 15. Nice play action fake for Pringle. Cavillo end zone toss, and he missed his target. Kevin Alexander, number 88, was in behind the coverage. Troy Saunders was with him, and Cavillo couldn't make contact.
Montreal Alouettes have been very, very efficient when they get inside the 20-yard line all season long. As a matter of fact, they've been down inside. It's called the red zone for most teams. Some call it the green zone. They've been down there 36 times this season. They've come away with points 30 times.
And the Alouettes have been very successful on first possession. Not this time, however, on 2nd and 10. Cavillo couldn't find anyone home, and there's a scuffle down there near the 25.
Ryan Chu thought he was working over there on Jason Lamar, and they got into a bit of a fight. I mentioned that red zone success for the Montreal Alouettes. 30 out of 36 times inside the 20 this year, they've come away with points. That's incredible. That's 83% of the time. 22 of them have been touchdowns, 8 field goals. This will be the 9th field goal.
Terry Baker is having a sensational season, hitting on 87% of his field goal attempts. First of the afternoon, and he's got that one. So the Alouettes score on their first drive, but settle for 3 instead of the 7.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Danny McManus, a perfect 5 for 5 on the Ticats' opening drive. Second possession for Hamilton. John Davis,
John
number
McManus,
32.
McManus will have to be efficient because the Montreal Alouettes sure are. There's Rod Russ, the head coach, and talk about that red zone production. Now it's 31 of 37 times that they've been inside the 20 and come away with points. 22 touchdowns. It's number 1 in the Canadian Football League. Once you get inside that 20, you want to keep that momentum and come away with it. Montreal's been able to do that.
Davis picked up 3. This is 2nd and 7, Tiger Cats. McManus shotgun. He'll put it up. Andrew Gregg. First down and yards to spare. Gregg is out near midfield, forced out at the 54 after 16 yards.
Montreal Alouettes defensively very happy to get Lester Smith back. He's the free safety. Andrew Gregg is going to catch this little curl pattern and run out, and it's Lester Smith that runs him down. Lester Smith not only has great athletic ability and a great sense for the football from the middle of the field, but he also is the quarterback of that defense, and they're happy to have him back, mostly for that reason. is that he can coordinate everybody. He knows what every position on the field has to do. He knows their responsibilities. So when he sees a mistake in a lineup, he can come over and pat a guy on the back and say, no, you got to move out to this position. He coordinates the entire defense from the safety position.
Couple of catches for Andrew Gregg. He was shaken up on the last reception, picking up 16 yards.
Well, they got real close to that wall here at Ivor Wynn. I saw Lester Smith kind of hold him up as they were running up so they wouldn't collide into that.
Quick timeout at Ivor Wynn in Hamilton. It's the CFL Live. Tony Akins is in for Andrew Gregg, who's on the sidelines being tended to at the Ticat bench. 1st and 10 Hamilton.
Well, Tony Akins will play opposite for the most part of Darren Flutie, and of course Flutie coming off the big game against Calgary, caught that touchdown to win it in overtime, and he's caught a few touchdowns from Mr. McManus.
He has 60 career touchdowns. He doesn't know how many, though, that Danny McManus has thrown to him. I was asking him before the game. 1st down, Tiger Cats. That was a little low. McManus would like it back.
He sure would. He's pointing to himself, because if he puts a little air on that football, Darren Flutie comes up with another catch and adds to this list.
Pretty good shot at catching up to Don Narcisse by the end of the season. I would think it might take another half season to get to the very top. Wouldn't you?
About a half, yeah. Well, he'll get there.
I mean, this season plus another half is what I was trying to say.
Injury-free the rest of the way, knock on wood. Don't want to see any player get hurt. He should make it.
That was McManus's first miss, and that's his second. Looking for Mike Morreale, who went high and couldn't bring it down. So McManus started 6 for 6 and missed a couple there.
Well, he should have looked to his go-to guy. Darren Flutie was open down the field. Flutie's the inside receiver right here, cutting across, and he just sits down in between the umpire. Look, and go right down that seam.
It's a great combination, McManus to Flutie, and most of Darren Flutie's 60 touchdowns have come from Danny Mac. Paul Osbaldiston having a super season as well, ranked 2nd among CFL kickers as it stands. Thomas Haskins returning for Montreal. Grabbed by one leg by linebacker Sean Woodson after a 10-yard return.
Whenever you play the Montreal Alouettes, everyone knows that Mike Pringle's the guy you got to stop. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the way they may try and do that a little bit this afternoon will be to have Rob Hitchcock, the safety, move from the safety position down into the box. They call it the box. It's right behind the line of scrimmage, the defensive line and linebackers. And you really do have to add a guy to the box when you're playing Mike Pringle, because he puts up numbers like that.
Yeah, 98 was the year, though, wasn't it? 2,065. Always over 1,000. A 6-time CFL All-Canadian. And here's Pringle again, right side. Montford had him wrapped up and slowed him down.
Well, that's what you can do to try and help to stop Pringle, is to move Rob Hitchcock down there. And basically what you're playing now with is 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers. Now the downside, and there's always a downside.
Well, yes, obviously there is.
The downside is your other 4 defensive backs are in man-to-man coverage with no safety help. So the deep ball is something that we may see Montreal go to as this game goes on.
Well, Hitchcock was up on this play. Calvillo can't find anyone home. Spinning around, that's Woodson after him. But he finds room to the outside, so a fine play by Anthony Calvillo, who was in trouble for a bit, and then found a way to get to the outside and get the first down on 2nd and 5.
It's a good thing he had Happy Feet. He had to have Happy Feet in his pocket. The pocket collapses immediately on him. He steps up into it, and then Mumford flashes right there along with Gonzalo Floyd. So then comes the old spinorama, and now it's just straight speed, and it looks like at that point you're almost running scared. You got the Hamilton Tiger Cats defensive line coming at you.
13 yards for number 13. And a Ticat Alouette first down at the Montreal 38. Here's Pringle left side. Great run by Pringle, bounced off 1, and he's got close to 15 yards. So Pringle is off to a hot start as well.
And it's Rob Hitchcock that comes from the safety spot to put the first hit on Pringle. Pretty good blocking at the point of the attack, keeping Joe Mumford wide. And here comes Mike Pringle. There's Hitchcock. Pretty good hit on him. He just doesn't wrap him up, and Pringle picks up a couple extra. Already over 1,000 yards. And
well, he's always over 1,000 yards, isn't he?
yeah, he is. He sure is.
Averaging 5.2 yards a carry. Why not give it to him again? Pringle right side. Breaks another 2 tackles. And he's inside the Hamilton 45. It's Hitchcock over there to make the tackle finally.
Well, so far, Rob Hitchcock has continued to creep up closer to the line of scrimmage as the plays have progressed for the Montreal offense. Look at him right up in here now. He usually lines up back here, so he keeps crawling up closer to that line of scrimmage. Now he slid the wrong way and didn't get quickly enough to the pursuit angle, but Rob Hitchcock is now only about 6 yards away, and he's up there tight again.
So that's a headache for coordinator Don Southern. Another 14 yards for Pringle. And now here's Thomas Haskins out of the backfield. Haskins broke a couple, and he's got about 8 yards. 14 yards for Pringle on the previous play, 15.
Well, you got to admire, though, the offensive game plan for Montreal. They're coming in with an extra offensive lineman. They're playing a receiver short. Unconventional for CFL offenses. But you put Kevin Lustford in at that tight end spot, and it's always to the side of Joe Mumford, making that corner longer for him to get to.
Haskins is still in there for Pringle. He gets the call on 2nd and 1 and may not have it. Sean Woodson with the tackle, and the spot will be all important to the Alouettes. Pringle on 5 carries, 45 yards, so the Owls have run the ball effectively against the Tiger Cats so far. And now for the first down for Thomas Haskins. He averages 6 yards a carry and doesn't get to play all that often, but he's a very valuable member of this Alouettes offense.
Well, he certainly is. Thomas Haskins has had to play 15 games for the injured Mike Pringle during his time, and he's racked up over 500 yards in those games.
Pringle has broken a couple on this drive. Calvillo will put it up if he gets a chance to get it away, and he's hammered down there. Ball loose. Ticats look like they might have come up with it. Gonzo Floyd lost his helmet, and the Ticats have recovered. Huge hit on Anthony Calvillo.
You know, what's amazing is that Gonzalo Floyd, who's down at the bottom here, Gonzalo Floyd plays this play without a helmet. Comes off the line of scrimmage on Azumo Okeke, and here comes the helmet off. Now he's down on the ground. He gets up and pursues after that football without his hat on. Look at this. Where's the ball? He's going to get it. He doesn't care. Now someone's got to tell him, you got to play with your helmet on. So here comes Floyd off the edge. There's the hit on Calvillo by Joe Mumford. And Gonzalo Floyd played an entire play without his hat.
On first down, Hamilton, it's Troy Davis after the turnover. And only about 3 yards there. Monford really found a way to get through. And Calvillo felt that, lost the ball. Second and 7, Tiger Cats. Hamilton with a 7-3 lead in the final minute now of the opening quarter. McManus with time on the money. Montreal made the catch. He's roughed up by Kelly Wiltshire.
Dwayne Ford makes this happen for the Hamilton Tiger Cat. Montreal wanted to come with a blitz from Stephon Reed, the linebacker, from the backside, and Dwayne Ford, number 37 right here, is going to step this way and pick up the blitz. If he doesn't do this, Danny McManus gets hit square in the back.
11 yards the gain. First down, Ticats. This should be the last play of the opening quarter. Oh, had it in his hands, and Andrew Gregg dropped that one. He was shaken up earlier after making 2 catches. And I think that was the old, I've got it, I'm heading to the end zone, turning before he had possession.
Exactly what it was. Or maybe it was a little peek to Lester Smith coming hard downhill at him.
That's the end of quarter 1 at Ivor Wynn on a beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Wendy's CFL live at the quarter.
7-3 ball game. Hi again, everybody. Dave, Eric, Matt, and Chris. And it does happen. These guys do make sense quite often. What you say in the pregame show, Hamilton has to come out with their offense and strike hard. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, every now and then a blind squirrel gets a nut.
You got it.
I tell you what, Danny McManus came out on fire. First drive, 4 short completions, then a long one to Akins, and then the touchdown to Morreale. Danny McManus simply took what the defense gave him. Here's a touchdown to Morreale. Another simple play. Little play action. Danny Mack spreading the pocket a little bit. This is great. One-on-one. Morreale, nice move on the inside. Throws a quick strike. Keeping the ball away from Montreal, Chris, is key for Hamilton. They did it on the first drive.
You know, and I thought Montreal had a really good thought going into the game on how they were going to handle Joe Montford. They were going to use the tight end Kevin Lefstrud as another player, and it worked throughout the game. But then at a critical moment, Joe Montford made a great inside move, a really tight inside move. That was the big play, and the reason was that Kevin Lefstrud doesn't know how to pass block from the right tackle position because of inexperience. You see it right here. He's going to come in and make the big hit on the play, and those are the type of plays you see Anthony Calvillo getting crushed. Where'd the helmet come from? Those are the type of plays that are going to determine games. Number 1 for Joe Montford.
You know what, Chris, this has really been a great first quarter. Both teams are playing well. Hamilton's very physical, but from Montreal's standpoint, even though they only have 3 points, I like their way they're running the football. Everything they do offensively is based off establishing the line of scrimmage. The boot, the play action, all the things work. We keep seeing Rob Hitchcock, Hamilton safety, cheat up closer and closer, trying to count for Pringle. Watch for Montreal to get one over the top, and soon if this continues.
Pringle had close to 140 yards last time these two met. Let's get you back to Ivor Wynn.
Before we get the second quarter underway, a look at what's transpired thus far.
It's 69 yards rushing in a quarter for the Montreal Alouettes. If you times that by 4, you're over 270.
276, I think.
Whoa. That would translate into a W.
Hard running by Pringle, but right now the Tiger Cats have the ball. McManus, long toss, no flags, and the fans wanted one. Tony Torrey Hunter.
Yeah, nothing fancy about what Darren Flutie did. Just straight down the field on Torrey Hunter just to test him out. Hunter, released by the Edmonton Eskimos this season's been on the practice roster in Montreal. You see how Flutie uses the motion you can do in Canadian football. He comes straight at Torrey Hunter, gets in behind him, but that ball way underthrown. And for Torrey Hunter, that goes down as a real long incompletion.
Third down. Osbaldiston at his 45. Kicking with a slight breeze. This is nice. Thomas Haskins chased back to the 1. Flags are down as Haskins escapes. That's Hitchcock in pursuit. Osbaldiston was waiting at midfield, but we'll check the infraction. It looks like an illegal block. 49-yard punt, 51 on the return. If in fact it stands. Ticats on top, 7-3. This is Wendy's CFL Live. Happy times in Hamilton when the Ticats are on top. Wendy's Friday Night Football from Commonwealth in Edmonton next week. The Red Hot Blue Bombers look to make it 10 wins in a row.
Coming off a big win versus BC on Friday night this week, and Edmonton coming off a win versus Saskatchewan. So, nice matchup.
Illegal block negated a 51-yard punt return, and that's a big turnaround for the Alouettes in the number of yards that they had and where they were when they last gave up the ball to the Tiger Cats on the fumble by Calvillo.
47 yards of real estate lost.
Pringle slipped. And that's a gain of about 1 yard. Sean Woodson was there to pin him. Couple of touchdowns last week for 110 career touchdowns, 101 rushing touchdowns. Still a ways to go to catch George Reed with 134 rushing touchdowns in his CFL career.
But 100-yard game, he's knocking on the doorstep.
Really,
George Reed.
100 today with Tyree. Cavill lost it, barely got it back. Just slipped out of his hand.
He was looking for Tyree Davis over the middle, and I think when he went to load it up, he got down low by his hip, and the ball actually bounced off his hip and out of his hands.
He was lucky to get it back without going into the end zone. Watch.
This is the target he's looking at here, and you see it just slipped right out of his hands. I thought it might have hit his hip.
It was on the line, and he grabbed it back out.
Had a passing lane there to throw in. Just lost the handle. Anthony Calvillo has not played his best football over the last game and now game and a half.
Ticats will have great field position here with any kind of a return at all by Akins or Grant.
Well, if I don't have the best kicker in the CFL, which Terry Baker is right now, averaging 47 yards, I would consider giving up a safety. Rod Rust at this point, with Terry Baker kicking, may want to launch one. Well, they're taking too long in the huddle, so they deliberately do that, and they are going to likely give up a safety if that's what they're going to do on first down.
Baker is kicking into a slight breeze. Averaging 47 yards per punt on the season, and that is the best in the CFL, along with his field goal percentage at 87.
He's going to give up a safety here, John. It's too deep in that end zone.
Takes a little time off the clock and finally steps out the back. Ticats get a couple more, 9-3. We're in the second quarter in Hamilton. Hamilton heroics last week here at Ivor Wynn. It's in overtime. First possession, first play. McManus to Flutie, touchdown. Ticats win over Calgary.
In behind William Fields of the Calgary Stampeders. But Flutie has got in behind a few defensive backs in his time, and that was a big one for Hamilton. An overtime win.
Stampeders had scored a field goal on their first possession. Ticats respond. Big hit on the kickoff. Loose ball. Alouettes are all around it, but it's Ticat football.
The Montreal Alouettes had the best chance at it. It was Reggie Durden. They tried a sky ball against the wind, and what happens is the ball's going to hold up in the air.
That's Bowles, Randy Bowles.
Yeah, it comes down to Bowles. A big hit there by Eric Reddick, and look at Reggie Durden's chance at the football. He had it right in his hands. He drops it, goes down, and I believe it's Trevor Shaw who picks it up for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They dodged a bullet there in a big way.
Over 13,000 yards. Third in receiving all time in the CFL. Darren Flutie in combination with Danny McManus for most of those yards. And there it is again. Flutie couldn't hang on.
Torrey Hunter jumped that one. It's a quick slant in pattern from Darren Flutie. Timing pattern, and Torrey Hunter just jumps it. It's going to be 3 steps, 4 steps up the field, and then right across the middle. And look at how quickly Torrey Hunter comes up in there. Torrey Hunter started his career in Montreal, played 2 years with the Alouettes before moving over to the Edmonton Eskimos for 99, and last year played a little bit this year and was released, and he'll be matched up on Darren Flutie all game long.
2nd and 10, Ticats. McManus shotgun. Looking deep, that's Grant. How about a step behind the ball? Couldn't quite catch up.
John, there's a difference between running what's called a post or a post seam. And the difference is the angle that the receiver comes out of the break. And here's Danny McManus. He throws the post seam. That's right down the hash marks, basically straight down the field. And Corey Grant had the wrong angle. He was going more to the middle of the field, and that's why he can't adjust to come back and run under that football.
McManus began 6 for 6. He's completed 1 of his last 5. Osbaldiston is in. Another nice kick. Thomas Haskins just inside the 30. Flags are down on the return. 11 yards for Haskins after a 48-yard Osbaldiston punt. Anthony Calvillo awaiting his chance for a little redemption for the last 2 drives.
Tripping. Hamilton, number 27, on the comeback. First down.
Against the Tiger Cats. Timeout at Ivor Wynn. Hamilton on top by 6. Ron Lancaster had a lot of rookies in the Ticat secondary to begin the season, so the addition of Gerald Vaughn in his return this week makes the head coach happy.
Gerald's kind of a leader in his own way. He's very vocal in a positive way. You know, he works very, very hard, and he wants everybody else to work hard. He sets a good example for a lot of young guys, and we have a lot of those. He's a proven winner. He's a proven veteran. When he comes on the field, he adds credibility not only to the game itself, but to the team that he's with.
Plays physical football from the defensive back position. Gerald Vaughn replaces Terry Billups, who is released. Now he still has to get used to Brandon Hamilton. He's experienced as far as the Ticats goes, but he has not played with Brandon Hamilton yet this year.
Haskins picked up 5. This is 2nd and 5, and Cavillo gets out to the midfield area, draws a penalty, and Cavillo got hammered.
Jason Lamar, now, in fairness to Jason Lamar, he's going to get called on a late hit, but that was basically a hit right as Calvillo was going down. I'm not so sure that you could have told Jason Lamar to pull up.
Well, the fans here hate the call.
Hamilton, number 36. First down.
Well, he was on the full tear from the linebacking spot. He had taken his drop. He flew over to the football from this side. Now watch the hit. Here comes Anthony Calvillo. He's not even down yet. Jason Lamar's coming over the top. Now, he did swing that arm at Anthony Calvillo's head.
Sliding. He was going feet first. Or at least trying to get down feet first.
I will say this about the officials with regards to the quarterbacks this season, though. They have been consistent. And when I say that, whether you like it or not, they have tried to protect the quarterbacks in this league, and they're trying to protect the stars, and there's no question they need to do that in any league. But they have been consistent. If it's even close, they will throw the flag, and that was close.
Yeah, I think if there is an error to be made, being overprotective of quarterbacks is the way to go. I mean, 15 yards is not all that much to pay here. So here's Calvillo.
And that, John, is what they're trying to avoid, is having starting quarterbacks go down, and Anthony Calvillo has not got up off the field since that hit from Lamar. So Dan Gonzalez will get a chance at least for 3 plays to come in and try and run this offense, and Mike Pringle becomes that much more important now for Montreal.
He hasn't seen much action. 5 completions in 7 attempts from East Carolina. Signed as a free agent last year, saw very little action with Cavillo going most of the season last year. And actually, Stanley Jackson was the #1 backup last season in Montreal.
They're taking a look at the shoulder. You can see the trainer's arm up in the shoulder pad area of Anthony Calvillo. It's his left arm they were checking out. Fans here in Hamilton still don't like the call. Even though the quarterback's hurt and walking off, he's getting booed.
He was attempting to go feet first. A safe slide. So Danny Gonzalez gets an opportunity here, perhaps his best ever opportunity as a Montreal Alouette quarterback. First down at the opposition 40-yard line. And he's got Mike Pringle in the backfield. Pringle, 7, maybe 8 yards around the left side behind Verschoval and Okeke.
And they get Bruno Heppel over there to lead it up to the fullback. Bruno Heppel is right there. You see Bruno Heppel. He gets over there to load up that side of the field, and Mike Pringle is jumping out of his stance to get that football. There's the crease he finds, and he shoots through it just by Gonzalo Floyd.
Philbrick got Pringle by the ankles, but not before he'd picked up 9 yards.
And you will not see Gonzalez throw the football unless he absolutely has to, I'm sure. They've got that tight end formation in for Montreal one more time.
2nd and 1. Pringle behind Heppel this time, and he's stopped.
What a play.
Great tackle by Troy Saunders.
Everybody in the defense has got to be involved in stopping the run when Mike Pringle is on the other side of the field. And this time, the Hamilton Tiger Cats get a little help from their secondary. It's number 6 right there, Troy Saunders. He's just going to shoot up the gap. Watch this. Pringle takes it and turns his shoulder pads to the sideline. That gives Saunders a chance, and he beats the block of Bruno Heppel to get outside.
So Terry Baker is in. Made his first from 22. Baker is 2 for 2. And the Alouettes climb within 3. It's Wendy's CFL Live from Hamilton. Alouettes are without their starting quarterback at this point in time. Anthony Cavillo on the sidelines. First down, Tiger Cats.
Well, Calvillo definitely had to come out for at least 3 plays. That was the length of the drive once he went out. He's in behind there getting some water and still getting some attention from the training staff. Take a look at that left shoulder.
Well, perhaps that's the good news. His non-throwing arm.
Trying to get a nice bag up in there.
McManus on 2nd down. Morreale couldn't get to it. Torrey Hunter might have gotten away with one there. What do you think?
Well, Torrey Hunter, I think, did get away with one. He was basically in the hip pocket of Mike Morreale the entire time. Now, Morreale is a veteran, so, you know, if that happens again, he goes to the push-off. If they're grabbing, you push. If they push, you pull. It's basically the way it works between receiver and defensive back.
Osbaldiston again from his 25. He's kicked well this afternoon. This is Thomas Haskins. Broke one last time, but it was called back. Haskins to the 37 for 11 on the return, 46 on the punt.
Make a bit of a prediction here. Thomas Haskins may just break a punt in this game because he has been close. He had the one call back you mentioned, but he's been close in the next 2. There's some seams right now that the Hamilton Tiger Cats will likely be talking about at halftime on that punt team. But in the meantime, it's a matter of whether or not Dan Gonzalez can move this Montreal offense.
He was almost within field goal range when he took over from Calvillo at the 40 on the last Alouettes possession. But he'll keep it on the ground a little bit here with Pringle.
Ben Huff said not in this hole. Every defensive lineman is designed to take one gap in the offensive line, and Ben Huff's gap was taken away. It's going to be right over here. Watch how Ben Huff slices in there, number 99, and takes away Mike Pringle. He slides to his gap, bam, low shoulders, and stands Mike Pringle up so that his help can come.
2nd and 8 for the Alouettes. Ticat defense stiffens. First pass for Gonzalez. He has Haskins, who turns and makes a first down. Thomas Haskins, a nice run after making the catch. Dodged a couple of Tiger Cats.
Well, it was the right read for Dan Gonzalez. Rob Hitchcock, the safety. You see there's no one in the middle. He had come up. He sees that it's picked up, so he has time and steps into that throw to the outside. Pretty good throw to the wide field. Makes that young quarterback a little nervous to throw it that far to the wide field, but that's a good throw.
First down, Alouettes. Cahoon to the near side. It'll be a first down. Jermaine Copeland made the catch for 13 yards.
Well, it works out well because there's layers between the Montreal receivers. Ben Cahoon had gone in motion, come all the way down, and he was the under receiver on the play. You're going to see two of them. Cahoon will be the short one here. Copeland in behind on the layer. It's awful tough to defend. There's the short one, and there's the one in behind.
This is the second game for Jermaine Copeland. He was the second leading receiver in the XFL this past year. Long toss, not bad at all for a rookie at the throws, as he has Tyree Davis. Danny Gonzalez to Tyree Davis, who got in behind Dedrick Mathis for 37 yards.
Well, it's twofold, John. One, the throw is perfect. The throw is absolutely perfect. Number two, picks up the blitz. Rob Hitchcock, the safety, is coming on the blitz right in the middle. He recognizes the blitz is coming. He sees that Hamilton has everyone on the line of scrimmage, knows he has one-on-one coverage, and throws it right to Tyree Davis on the run. A perfect throw. An even better read.
37 yards sets the Alouettes up at the Ticat 13. Thomas Haskins for 6. It's a great combination when the Alouettes are able to use Haskins and Pringle coming out of the backfield.
Well, it is, no question.
They are different styles.
You got the pounding running back and the guy who can break it wide open with tremendous speed, and Dan Gonzalez will need both of them in this game to try and get him into some second and medium, second and short situations. But boy, has he looked confident so far, replacing Anthony Calvillo.
Second down and 5. Huge play for the Alouettes. Touchdown toss, tightly covered, no catch. Sylvain Girard was the target. Coverage by Troy Saunders.
Troy Saunders played over in the XFL and one of the most outstanding corners. And he comes up with a big play right there across the middle. Gonzalez threw another nice ball inside. Maybe got away with a little bit of a hold on Sylvain Girard. Grabbed that jersey ever so slightly.
Here's the latest on Anthony Calvillo. Bruised left shoulder. Could return in the second half. Or actually could return to the game, I should say. But there's only 4:59 to go till halftime.
Well, if Dan Gonzalez keeps throwing the ball the way he is, they may want to keep Anthony Calvillo on the bench and rest him for the rest of this one.
Terry Baker is now 3 for 3. Short little field goal there. And the Alouettes are back to even. We're live at Ivor Wynn in Hamilton. Sports Center tonight with Corey Warren right after we're done here. All the stories, scores, and highlights. Here's McManus. That might be one of them. Dwayne Ford made the catch. First time he's had his hands on the football. Irv Smith was there to make the tackle.
Well, Hamilton Tiger Cats are dressing not one fullback in Dwayne Ford, not two with Ford and Bulls, but 4. They also have Jeff Johnson and Jarrett Smith on the roster, but they believe their fullbacks are also their best special teams players. So Dwayne Ford starts on offense. We'll see a little bit of Jarrett Smith, a little bit of Jeff Johnson, and there's the tailback, Troy Davis.
Second and inches, and this is Davis for the first down. Fooled a couple of Alouettes down there.
Well, Davis uses Dave Hutton. Now, I know you're scrambling through your roster to see which player I'm talking about. Dave Hutton is not a player. Dave Hutton is the umpire.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
And he was standing right in that line of scrimmage, and Troy Davis kind of snuck in behind him.
A little decoy.
A little decoy from Dave Hutton right there.
Yep.
Hutton jumps out of the way. A wise move.
A 7-yard gain. Ticat first down. It's all even at 9. McManus stands in. Buys a little time and then fired too far for Montreal, who might have been a little slow to react to what McManus wanted him to do because he was downfield.
John, usually though when the quarterback is scrambling like McManus was, trying to scramble to buy time, the receivers are taught to come back to him. McManus wanted Mike Montreal to turn around and go deep. That's where they got crossed up.
3:02 till halftime. It's all even at Ivor Wynn. Here's Lester Smith in his first game back with the Alouettes.
Well, this is what happens if a quarterback scrambles around and buys some time. This is what happens to the safety. I got my guy. Okay, he's covered. Whoop, he's going this way. Hang on. I mean, you feel like a yo-yo sometimes going back and forth and up and down trying to figure out which way to go.
It worked out well for Smith in the previous play. This is 2nd down and 10. McManus has Corey Grant, and what a fine catch that was.
Oh, and he's lucky he went down, John.
In front of Herb Smith.
In front of Herb Smith, but just under Lester Smith, because it was going to be a Smith sandwich, and Grant was the peanut butter. Because here he comes. Smith is coming downhill, full speed. Grant just gets down in time. Watch this, timing. He catches it, just gets pushed by. Lester Smith is coming full speed. He takes 3 steps. Now look at this. Downhill, coming right at him, locked in. Oh, just missed him.
Just missed. Went right over top of Herb Smith. 16 yards for Grant. First down, Tiger Cats. McManus has room to run and throws anyway. Complete at the 25 for Darren Flutie.
Well, that's great. That's great concentration by Darren Flutie. And this is what we talked about, where receivers are taught when the quarterback is scrambling to come back. Darren Flutie's going to run a wheel right here. But watch what he does at the end of the play. This is the wheel route. He goes out to the sideline right here. Now he's going down the sideline. Now McManus is in trouble. Put the brakes on, come back and create a target. That's what he does.
Just the second catch for Flutie. It covers 19 yards. Ticats in nice shape here inside the 25. First down at the Alouette 23. Touchdown toss. Into the shadows and a little too far for Tony Akins. Reggie Durden was covering, and step for step with Akins there. Closing in on halftime, and the guys are ready back in the studio. Chris Schultz was taking a shot or two at the kickers. And,
well, he has in his time.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't like kickers. Is what
the president of the union, Mr. Osbaldiston,
you know what,
was not pleased.
You know what he said to me when we came out at halftime? He said, "You tell Chris Schultz to bring it on." That's what Oswald. I said, "You know Chris Schultz is 7 feet tall, don't you?" He said, "I don't care. Bring it on."
Ozzy's quicker, though. Here's Davis. Troy Davis gets a chance to run again, averaging 4.6 yards a carry. He's been effective tonight in a game that the Tiger Cats said they weren't going to run the ball very often.
Well, and he hasn't run it often, but he's been effective when he has run it. And that may cause Ron Lancaster to think, to think that over again and maybe come back with some more run in the second half. Now they're a good yard away from that first down, and McManus has basically waved off the field goal team. He's got something ready for this one.
It was Davis's 6th carry for 33 yards, so that's a nice average going for him thus far. 3rd and 1. Oh, this is Danny's play for the touchdown. Almost.
What a play!
Just about for Troy Davis.
Mark Washington saves the day for Montreal. 3rd down gamble, and McManus wanted to get Corey Grant to the play side. He rolls out hoping that Montreal's thinking run all the way.
I thought he had room to go on the bootleg.
Well, here comes the bootleg. You can see the reaction. Montreal, Torrey Hunter cuts him off, so he has to pull up and throw. Now he wanted to go to the play side. That's his left side to Corey Grant. Corey Grant was covered. So he has to go back to the backside of the play, and Mark Washington recovers and knocks that one down. That could be a big, big turning point. I know it's early. That's a 3rd down gamble. Hamilton comes away with nothing.
Turnover by the Tiger Cats. It goes Gonzalez at quarterback. And the Cats keep it on the ground with Thomas Haskins for 12.
Well, you know, it was the reaction. 2 plays made on that. Actually, 3 from the Montreal secondary. 1 from Torrey Hunter to cut off Danny McManus. That took away option 1 for Lancaster on that type of play. McManus can't run it. Coverage on Corey Grant to the field. That takes away his #1 target. And then Mark Washington with the knockdown.
Haskins picked up 12. He has 4 carries for 28. And Pringle, or rather Haskins, stopped by Sean Woodson.
Well, this defense stepping it up now, and you know they're going to be keying in on Thomas Haskins and that running game. Here's Haskins, here's Woodson, and he is going nowhere but to #4. Step up into the line, take a step, and right there, the point of attack.
17, Sean Woodson has made several big plays in the first half already. A loss there. This will be 2nd and a bunch. Gonzalez fired it out. Just had to throw it away. No one was open. Mike Pringle is on the bench, and that's an injury, obviously, to his left foot.
Yeah, when you got the shoe off, you're not coming back in the game. Pringle's tough, but he's going to play with shoes on if he's healthy. So check that out at halftime and see if he can return for the second half. So both the star quarterback Anthony Calvillo and #1 running back in Mike Pringle not able to play for Montreal. Puts that much more pressure, John, on their defense.
And a little on the kicker, Terry Baker, as well. Another nice kick. Corey Grant ready to return, and there's nowhere to go there. Flags are down. 41-yard punt, 5 on the return. We'll check out the infraction. 9-9 is the score. 34 seconds to go till halftime.
You know, when we played a long time ago, we used to say on defense, when you lose a couple of guys offensively,
Holding, Hamilton, #7, first down.
Especially if you lose a couple of your stars, like your #1 quarterback, your starting tailback. We used to say on defense, we're going to have to score on defense to win this game. And I'm sure Montreal will talk about that at halftime defensively and say, guys, if we want to win this game, we're going to have to score on defense. We've got a backup quarterback in there. Now, Thomas Haskins is no slouch, no question, but we don't have Mike Pringle.
Ticats have 34 seconds to work with. McManus has Flutie. 3rd catch for Darren Flutie. And a big gain on the Montreal side of the field in front of Mark Washington.
Well, McManus wants to come and get another crack at points. Remember that 3rd down gamble a series ago that did not work thanks to Mark Washington.
19-yard gain. McManus on the money again. Down to the Montreal 35. Andrew Grigg.
Boy, Tony Aikens opens things up with speed down the middle. He takes the safety away and allows Andrew Grigg to come into that extra space.
16 for Grigg. 20 seconds remaining till halftime.
See Aikens out there with Andrew Grigg again on that side of the field.
Flutie again, couldn't hang on.
Eric Reddick, John, just pulled down on that left arm of Andrew Grigg and got the ball out of there because he had that catch. You just see the end of that play. Here he comes into the post, into that middle area. He's got it there now. The left arm is pulled away, and that ball hits the turf.
So Grigg couldn't hang on.
This is field goal range, definitely, though, for Paul Osvaldsson. So Danny McManus has accomplished at least a field goal opportunity in the dying seconds.
2nd down. 11 seconds to go. McManus too far. Tony Aiken was the intended target.
Paul Osvaldsson's longest field goal on the season has been 50 yards. He's got a bit of a breeze behind him, so this is well within his range for some points and the lead heading in at halftime for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Osbaldiston hitting on almost 82% of his field goals. This will be spotted at the 42. No problem. Ticats have the lead by 3 points with zeros on the clock. Interesting first half and lots to look forward to in the second.
Hollis Ballison hitting some field goals and hitting Schultze verbally earlier on.
Wendy's CFL live at the half. Brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL.
Well, just as we all expected, tight ball game in the East. Montreal and Hamilton. Hi again, everybody. Dave along with Eric and Matt and Chris. And wow, that third down gamble inside the 20. They do add a field goal. Montreal's got 3 field goals. Hamilton had the touchdown and the safety, Matt. Those safeties can always come back and haunt you.
That's right. And what happened down here was a simple situation where Anthony Calvillo drops back. Hamilton does a good job of pressuring the quarterback up into the pocket, and then what happens is Anthony gets caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm going to throw, I'm going to throw, I'm going to throw. No, I'm going to run. Then he tries to pull back up. I'm going to throw. Ball comes loose. Great pressure by the D. Good job of dropping off in the zone, confusing Anthony Calvillo. Ends up to be a safety. And Chris, that's huge. Defense continues to pressure the quarterback.
Well, that was a big play of the first half, and the other big play was the unnecessary roughness by Jason Lamar, a really good linebacker out of Texas A&M, on Anthony Calvillo. And now when you watch it closely, it really doesn't seem like much, but if you watch Jason Lamar's left hand, it's almost like he had an intent to hit Anthony Calvillo in the head. And I think that was the interpretation by the ref, because if he had just brought his hand a little bit tighter, I don't think he would have been called for that unnecessary roughness penalty. They're trying to hold the emotions down. They're trying to protect the quarterbacks. I don't think it was an unnecessary roughness penalty, but I do think Jason Lamar had some evil thoughts in his mind there, Eric. Tell me, who is Dan Gonzalez?
Well, I want to agree with you first. I don't think that's a penalty in a big game like this.
I don't.
But a lot of people at home are probably wondering, who is Dan Gonzalez? Well, he's a young guy who played his college ball at East Carolina, briefly had a cup of coffee with the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins, played for Amsterdam and NFL Europe. But the interesting thing about him, early this year when Montreal cut Stanley Jackson, a lot of people were surprised, a lot of us on this panel. Yeah. But Jim Pop told me, hey, Gonzalez can play. Just wait until he gets his term. They had tremendous confidence in the guy, and based on what we've seen, he has a lot of ability. Talking about that first half, though, Ron Lancaster's got to feel very fortunate. I was shocked that they didn't take the certain 3 and went for it. They got an opportunity at the end to make 3 points, but in those situations, I think you have to take the sure things, go for the field goal.
And also a lot of credit to Mark Washington, who made a heck of a defensive play in the end zone there. Mike Moriale is the only guy to see the end zone so far in this ball game. For the second consecutive week, the veteran Canadian slot finds pay dirt. It's 12-9 Ticats at home.
This day in the CFL.
September 30th, 1995, Toronto in Calgary to take on the Stamps. First half, Jeff Garcia hits Tony Stewart for an 18-yard touchdown. Stamps up by 10. Late in the game, the Argos get a big play out of Jimmy the Jet Cunningham. This is why they call him the Jet. He's got some speed and some room. He took the ball at his own 2-yard line and goes 108 yards. Toronto lost the ball game 25-19.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by Dodge. For power, payload, and big rig styling, nothing beats a Dodge truck.
And wouldn't you know it, Toronto and Calgary played on Friday night, and the Argos blew a huge lead but hung on and got a much-needed win, 33-31. And speaking of hanging on, Winnipeg did just that when BC muffed what could have been a game-winning field goal at the buzzer. Saturday, this one not so close. Edmonton kind of pulled away midway through the fourth quarter. But right now, guys, the big story, the Bombers, Matt, they've won 9 in a row.
That's right. And, you know, very much, you know, it's good to be lucky and lucky to be good. And simply, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers weren't winning these type of football games last year. Well, they played smart. Kahari Jones was patient, and so was Damon Allen. My hat's off both those quarterbacks for playing the conditions, because the wind conditions were huge in that game. BC put themselves in position to win. It just didn't happen for Kelly.
Yeah, and a great game Friday night at the Sky Dome, looking at Toronto and Calgary. For Calgary, a real lost opportunity. If they win that game combined with BC's loss, heck, they're tied for first place in the West. But let's give a lot of credit to the Toronto Argonauts. Everyone had written them off. They played with emotion, they played with passion, and they won this game on defense. Elfrid Payton, Wayne Shaw, 2 big plays, 14 points. they're back in this race, Schultze.
And let me talk a little bit about yesterday's game, the Edmonton Eskimos and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Edmonton won the game, full deserving, but I tell you, the gods of football are not on the side of the Saskatchewan Roughrider football team. George White, interception, returns it, fumbles it back to the Eskimos. That usually only happens once a game, but then it happened again with Shante Peoples. Interception, runs it all the way back, fumbles it back to the Edmonton Eskimos. You know, this team defensively, the Rough Riders have improved in their secondary, their linebackers. They're more physical up front. They have good receivers. Their offensive line, I like Chris Zarka. I like Darren Davis. If Keith Smith can develop as a quarterback, they're going to get it together. Edmonton won the game, but I thought Saskatchewan outplayed them.
And with the win, the Eskimos move into first place in the West Division over the BC Lions, but remember, the Lions still have that game in hand. Hey, you want to get out to a ballpark and see some live CFL action? Get out the pens and papers and jot down these numbers. Here are the numbers for tickets in the East and the West. More, we're at the half on CFL Live. The halftime numbers are brought to you by Dodge. One team is throwing the ball better, the other is running the ball better, but very even through 2 quarters of play. Here's what the coach with the 3-point lead had to say.
Yeah, not real smart. Should take the, take the 3 when you're a yard away. But you got to make a yard, and we didn't give it a shot. But the one good thing is we kept them pinned up down there, got it back, got the 3 at the end of the half. So we're okay.
And E.T., he is referring to that 3rd down gamble late in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, he surprised me on that one. But I think the key in the second half for Montreal is for these guys to rally around Dan Gonzalez. Calvillo's out, Pringle's around. Everybody has to step up their game. If they do, maybe they can win it at the end with a field goal. Baker's kicking at almost 90%. That's unbelievable, Matt.
Well, I think for Hamilton, it's key for them to continue to try to establish the line of scrimmage with Troy Davis and taking the short things. I saw them get away from that in the 2nd quarter. They continue to try to put themselves into 2nd and short, and I think they'll have some success.
Well, I like what you said, because I like the way Danny McManus is just standing stoic in that, in the huddle. Then he drops back to 7, and he is getting rid of the ball. He has no fear throwing the football, and I think that's the key.
12-9, Hamilton at home trying to creep a little bit closer to the Montreal Alouettes. Second half action is coming right up from Ivor Wynn. Stick around.
One key injury in the first half to the Montreal Alouettes starting quarterback. Anthony Calvillo went down.
This was the play. Calvillo scrambles up the middle. Jason Lamar hits him as he's sliding.
And we don't know for sure whether or not he'll be back for the second half.
To be very honest with you, I was busy making adjustments. As far as I know, he's not ready to go. He was a lot of pain. I didn't see him moving around in there. I don't expect us to use him.
And Mike Pringle also shaken up in the opening half of football here in Hamilton, so we don't know the status of Pringle, although we would expect he would be back.
Well, what we understand is that he's been retaped on that ankle, that foot that was injured. We saw him with his shoe off in the first half, so Pringle is back. But as you can see, Gonzalez warming up. It doesn't look like we'll see Anthony Calvillo, at least in this 3rd quarter.
3 of 5 for 59 yards when Gonzalez did get his opportunity in relief of Anthony Calvillo. Ticats took the lead with a last play field goal for a 12-9 advantage as we get set for the second half. Durden and Haskins are deep for the Alouettes and ready for Osbaldiston's kickoff. Thomas Haskins ran into a wall of Tiger Cats. So Haskins may be the story of the second half. The Alouettes are going to have some success. 5 carries, 26 yards.
Well, if Mike Pringle can't go, it changes things offensively for Montreal. Thomas Haskins is used both as a running back, but also as a receiver. And with Pringle out of the game now, Haskins is going to be the primary running back, and that's where he'll stay. See Pringle trying to work out that foot injury.
Haskins is the lone running back. for the Alouettes with blocking help from Bruno Happel, number 33. Little timing problem down there, and Haskins did get his hands on the ball. But the play was whistled out.
So Haskins becomes the primary tailback.
Procedure, Montreal, number 57. Repeat first down.
And with a young quarterback in Dan Gonzalez, you're going to get some procedure calls, likely some too long in the huddle calls, until he gets into game shape, game action under his belt.
And you would expect the Alouettes would keep the ball on the ground with a young quarterback in there. But not all the time. Here's Davis. Couldn't make the catch. Hitchcock came over and got his hands on it.
Well, that ball
floated, didn't it?
Yeah, it was up in the air, and it was wobbling, and it took a whole bunch of time to get down to Tyree Davis, and it allowed Rob Hitchcock to see the center. He's right there on the hash mark. Watch how far he travels, because the ball is so high and wobbly in the air. Hitchcock has plenty of time to go all the way across to the sideline, knock that down.
Davis was left waiting for it. Hitchcock able to react. 2nd and 15. Gonzalez. Too high for Tyree Davis that time.
Well, right now it's quite a battle between Joe Montford and Neil Fort, the right tackle of the Montreal Alouettes, and they're likely going to try and keep Neil Fort in that battle with Joe Montford. He's going to get some help as well from Scott Flory, but Montford is going to come inside move and allow Ben Huff to come up. So you see how Flory and Fort will work on Montford to start with, then Fort slides off on the stunt.
118.
But they want to line up Neil Fort on Joe Montford's side.
Terry Baker inside his 15. Good kick with the breeze. Tony Akins wrapped up at the 35. 9 on the return, a 56-yard punt. 1st and 10 Ticats when we return to Ivor Wynn. NFL tonight on TSN. Kickoff 7:30. We got the Cowboys and the Eagles. Pretty nice team in Philadelphia these days. Cowboys are. Chargers have a 7-0 lead on Cincinnati.
Doug Flutie's off to a 2-0 start with the San Diego Chargers. How's Buffalo doing?
Well, Buffalo stunk the joint out today. And that's good news in Hamilton because it shouldn't affect attendance here. Troy Davis, a little confusion down there, but he grabbed a couple of yards.
So let me get this right now, just for a second now. Doug Flutie is over there with the Chargers, and they're 2-0. And Rob Johnson is what? He's got the donut in the win column?
Well, I think he was sacked 4, maybe 5 times today.
4 or 5 times. All right. I just wanted to make sure that Buffalo decision was the right one, or I'm just trying to. What do you think?
Well, it might not have been quite correct.
Okay.
But there was terrific interest in this area, obviously, in the Bills last year with Flutie around. I think it's waned a little bit.
Well, you know, I guess what's happening is Rob Johnson's putting up big points, but they're still losing. Is that what's happening?
No, that's not the case either. Here's Davis. Out to midfield, Troy Davis.
So you're saying that that's not the case either, so he's only scored 9 points in 2 home games? Oh, maybe that's not a great decision by Buffalo, huh? All right, let's get back to this game.
I can see you're delighted at what's going on there.
I just love it. I'd love to say I told you so to a whole bunch of Doug Flutie critics. But here we go. We got a pretty good game of our own right here in front of us.
It's 12-9 Ticats on top. That was 18 yards. For Davis.
There he is.
McManus. Flutie. Down at the 25. It's been a wonderful combination. There's a penalty marker down. Back in the Ticat backfield.
Holding. Hamilton, number 67. Repeat first down.
Big, bad Gary Brown.
They're trying to...
Go ahead. Brown back after missing 4 games. There he is right here. Back in the lineup. He's had some injury problems all season long. You can see he's got the collar right there on Jason Richards.
McManus and Flutie have been together with 3 teams in their CFL career. We were trying to figure out how many touchdowns they had combined for, and Darren Flutie couldn't remember. Of the 60 he's caught, how many were from McManus? Corey Grant couldn't hold on there. He did remember catching 6 from his brother when they were together in BC. And then he had a long list of quarterbacks, and we couldn't figure it out. There was Danny Barrett, Tony Kimbrough, Ken Austin.
But he remembered the 6 that he caught from Doug.
And he said a whole bunch from Danny, obviously, because they've been together for so long.
But he remembered those, the Doug that's 2-0 with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Over there? Okay.
He remembered 6 from his big brother.
Well, Doug's still throwing TD passes just to other guys now. Darren catches him here.
Second down and a bunch necessary for the Ticats. Sideline pattern. And Davis couldn't run underneath that one from Danny McManus.
Well, just to wrap up that final NFL note, Davis Sanchez, a former Montreal Alouette, is down there, a teammate with Doug Flutie and San Diego. He made the team as well. So Chargers off to a good start. It's nice to see. I call the Chargers now with Mike Riley as their head coach in CFL South. So they're my new favorite team in the National Football League.
Mike Riley, who grew up in Winnipeg.
That's right.
Is the coach. Score's now 7-7. I don't know if Sanchez got beat for a touchdown or not.
No, he's doing fine.
Thomas Haskins will be a busy guy today. What a great tackle down there by the Ticats. Jared Smith. Well, Mike Pringle's going to give it another try for the Montreal Alouettes. He was late coming back to the bench, obviously being attended to by the medical staff in the dressing room, but apparently retaped and ready to go.
It's tough to keep Mike Pringle out of the lineup. He basically has to lose a limb.
Halfway to 100, Pringle in the first half. Good fake by Gonzalez. The pass intended for Gerard was well behind him.
I think Gonzalo Floyd got his hand on the football. Dan Gonzalez tried to turn back and throw it over the middle to Gerard, but I think Gonzalo Floyd slapped it down. Back off the practice roster, Gonzalo Floyd getting a chance. He's over here. And watch Gonzalo Floyd take up right here. Bruno Heppel, he works on him now. Did he get that left hand on it? Yeah, he sure did. The hand on the ball, knocked it right down.
2nd and 10, Owls. Catch made by Tyree Davis.
I'll say
he'll
this,
have a first down.
Say this, John, about Dan Gonzalez. He looks poised. I mean, he's seen a lot of blitz from Hamilton. They're bringing Rob Hitchcock up from the safety position. And Dan Gonzalez looks poised in the pocket. He's standing in there. Watch this. You get a good look at him. Get Tyree Davis's look at him. Bam, right there on the money.
Very nice catch by Davis. Good for the first down. 12 yards the game.
Don Southern's throwing everything at him. Hitchcock's up in there again.
Flags are down.
Oh, that
was Mike Pringle. Big hit.
Oh, that is a solid hit. Pringle put his head down. Sean Woodson's in there. Chris Shillingford. Look at, or excuse me, Chris Schilling. Oh my goodness. That one rocked the building. That
it really did.
Defense. Offside. Hamilton, number 99. Repeat first down.
It's a play that won't count unless you're Chris Schilling and Mike Pringle. Oh boy, that was a big hit. Oh man.
Crunch time.
Those ones aren't spectacular, but they hurt more.
Alouettes looking at 1st and 5. And Pringle will have another first down, very close to it anyway. It's within inches.
Well, this is one of those waste downs. In fact, it's 2nd down in inches. gives Dan Gonzalez a chance. You know, everyone thinking the ball will go to Mike Pringle. This is a chance. You got one more down on third. If it doesn't work, try and throw one up over top.
2nd and inches.
Little play action to Mike Pringle here, and see if you can't catch one of the defensive backs for the Hamilton Tiger Cats napping a little bit.
Well, even with a rookie at quarterback, when you've got Mike Pringle, this is not a bad thought about gambling, but he decides to take the first. Pringle, with a couple of touchdowns last week, has 101 so far in his CFL career. And of course, the great George Reed finished off with 134.
Now those are his rushing touchdowns. Pringle actually has, coming into this game, 110 touchdowns in his career, which is 7 short of Alan Pitts for second in overall touchdowns.
And he has 13 rushing touchdowns this year, 1 receiving. And he has the ball. Again, Pringle better than 5. Joe Montford made the tackle, but Pringle is taking dead aim on 100 this afternoon.
Well, Montford makes the tackle, but give credit to that Montreal offensive line at this point in the game, because we haven't heard a whole lot from Joe Montford in this game. Here he is right here. Joe Montford is usually the guy that we're talking about all game long, because he's in the backfield all game long. But you look at the great speed to catch Mike Pringle from the backside. Right now he's working with Neil Fort primarily at right tackle position, and they've added the tight end, the extra lineman, to help out.
Gain was 6, 2nd and 4. It's Pringle again, and he won't get the first down this time. Fired back by Philbrick for 1. Number 77 for the Ticats. Lamar was in the neighborhood as well.
Well, when the extra attention is being spent on Joe Montford, that's when Mike Philbrick, Ben Huff, and Gonzalo Floyd get a chance to make some plays. Philbrick slid over there and made that play. We saw Gonzalo Floyd with the knockdown earlier in this series. So a lot of attention goes to Joe Montford. The other guys get a chance to get a one-on-one matchup.
Ticats on top by 3. Grant, 1 of 2 deep for Hamilton. Baker across his 40 to get this away. This one is blocked. Here's Gerald Vaughn after the loose ball. He couldn't hang on, but the Ticats come up with it. Clifford Ivory. Huge play for the Tiger Cats, who looked close a little earlier, but get through here. Jared Smith got through to block Terry Baker's punt. Huge play by the Tiger Cats on a 3rd down punting situation for the Owls. Clifford Ivory gets through.
He sure does. He's right here working one-on-one, and watch him come underneath Eric Lapointe. He's free off the edge. He is Eric Lapointe's man to block. See that little move there? Forces right up the middle on Terry Baker and gets the left hand on it. It was Jared Smith recovering it.
So the Ticats 1st and 10. The 27. Andrew Grigg has a catch near the 20.
Gerald Vaughn on the punt previous to that one was very close to Terry Baker, and that time Clifford Ivory got there. You know, between Clifford Ivory and Gerald Vaughn, they've got 2 pure punt blockers in the lineup now. It's a big play for the Ticats. Now can Danny McManus cash in.
Anthony Calvillo will not be back this afternoon. Left shoulder in a sling. 3 of 5, 64 yards when he went out.
Well, the good news is, and it doesn't look good when you look at that picture, but the good news is there was thought that he may come back in the second half, so can't be all that bad. This could be precautionary. Just let him ride out the rest of this game, take that next week, and see if he can't be ready for a week down the road.
This is 2nd and inches. Troy Davis has the first down easily for the Tiger Cats. Davis has had a not bad afternoon for the Tiger Cats.
Well, Archie Amerson out with that rib injury. Gives Troy Davis a chance to play, just 8 carries. And we've mentioned already that Hamilton's not going to run the ball a whole bunch. But you got to take advantage of it when you do get your opportunities.
Davis again.
You know, and when Ron Lancaster said that 2 weeks ago, and you know, he's saying that based on some personnel. He had Archie Amerson. He lost. He had released and cut Ron Williams, who ended up in Edmonton. But when you say that, you got to wonder, when it gets cold and it gets rainy and it gets wet, the running game becomes a little bit more important to you. Will Danny McManus be able to use the short passing game to get success on first down? Because somehow you have to have success on first down.
2nd and 8. McManus has Davis, and he'll have the first down to about the 6-yard line.
Well, he's going to be very, very close. Danny McManus, if he looks backside to Darren Flutie, he might have had a shot. Flutie looked like he was coming downhill, trying to use motion again to try and get himself open. McManus went to the under pattern to Davis.
Well, hang on. We'll see where they spot the ball. Davis.
Yeah, I thought he was a little close.
They gambled. It didn't work out the last time.
That's right.
Davis has 40 rushing yards and 23 receiving as it stands right now. Well, he comes up well short of the first down where they spot the ball. They won't even measure, actually speaking. So here's Osbaldiston going for 3 more. Flutie has it down. Ozzie hammers it through. So it's the Tiger Cats with a 15-9 lead. Highlights from here and everywhere on SportsCenter coming up when we're done with Corey Warren. Wonder how Barry Bonds did today. He was in a late start.
Well, he's close, isn't he? Like, you got 1 to go?
1 to tie Mark McGwire. He's at 69. And enough games to establish the new record.
Now, is it just me, or do I get the feeling that not a whole lot of people want him to break that record?
Well, it's safe to say he is not baseball's most popular personality.
Well, I'm just getting this feeling, and I don't know for sure.
When your teammates don't talk to you very much, you know, yeah, maybe you're not Mr. Nice Guy. But anyway, the feat would be remarkable, no question about that. Thomas Haskins. Great return for number 4, Thomas Haskins, out near the 45. Sean Woodson has another tackle. 28 on the return. 4:14 to go, 3rd quarter, and it's the Alouettes down by 6, 15-9.
Danny Gonzalez got to worry about a couple of things right now. One is just sustaining drives. They're still well within reach in this game. I mean, 15-9 is no problem for Montreal. They've got a solid running game, and Mike Pringle's back. That's the good news. He's got to put some drives together, though, or that defense for the Alouettes stays on the field way too long. The other thing that's positive about this is that Dan Gonzalez gets some experience that may pay off down the road.
Pringle over 70 yards so far this afternoon. Little play action fake to Pringle. On the money for Gerard. Sylvain Gerard to the 35. Had a great week against Winnipeg. 4 catches, 105 yards. He has 32 on that reception. His first of the afternoon.
Gerard got into the zone, and Rob Hitchcock was breaking, number 42, and he just went down. I mean, he comes over there, and down he goes. Gerard can't believe he didn't get hit by number 42, Rob Hitchcock, but Hitchcock, the grassy knoll, got him.
He did get hit by middle linebacker Jason Lamar. 32 yards the game. First down, Alouettes. Here's Pringle. Right side. Another nice run by Pringle in heavy traffic.
You know, sometimes you don't tackle Mike Pringle. Sometimes you just wrap him up, and you get the rest of your teammates to wrap him up, and nothing stops until the whistle blows.
Slow him down and wait for help.
It doesn't actually even go down. mean, he'd still be standing in a pile of Hamilton Tiger Cat tacklers churning those feet until that whistle blows.
A little better than 5. So this will be 2nd and 4. Haskins in there as well as Pringle. Nice block by Pringle. But the Ticats smother the quarterback. First sack of the afternoon. Gonzalo Floyd getting through to Danny Gonzalez.
In fairness to Dan Gonzalez, though, there was a problem in the pattern between Thomas Haskins and Ben Cahoon. Ben Cahoon was coming down from the wide receiver spot on the left side of the formation, and he was trying to time it up with Thomas Haskins as they released down the field. But they ran into each other, and they stood on the line of scrimmage. So when Gonzalez rose up to look over there, he had no one to throw the football to.
Terry Baker perfect so far this afternoon. This would be his longest if he connects. Spotted at the 44. Baker has that one as well. What a season Terry Baker is having. Coming into the game, good on 27 of 31. And he gets the Alouettes within 3 again.
Just to show you why they had to kick that field goal one more time, Ben Cahoon was coming down in motion. And just to illustrate exactly, here he is right here, comes down. Now you're going to see number 4 come out of the backfield and try and time it up so they release down the field. Watch the problems they have, though. Here comes Ben Cahoon. He tries to time it up. Sylvain Girard there pushes him, then he runs in there, and now they can't get out and down the field in time. Gonzalez goes down, and it forces Montreal to kick the field goal. And now they'll work it out on the sideline. They're going to talk to Girard, and they'll get Haskins over there in a second.
So it wasn't the rookie quarterback's problem at all. Receivers had a few problems down there. I'm not so sure anyone is taking complete responsibility when you look at that group down there.
I just try and get it straightened out. That happens through the entire football game, and after every play, whether it's defense, offense, or even special teams, you'll go over there and just check with the guy you're playing beside, or check with the entire scheme of the defense to see if you're not all on the same page. Make sure you get there.
Ticats lead by 3. A kicker's duel thus far this afternoon. Some good plays, though. Troy Davis is deep for the Tiger Cats. It's taken by Bowles. Randy Bowles puts his head down. Rather, Jeff Johnson, number 33. Off to Edmonton Friday night for Wendy's Friday Night Football. The Blue Bombers.
Well, what do you want for a matchup on Wendy's Friday Night Football? How about we get the first place team in the East for you, and we'll match them up against first place team in the West for you. How would that be for a matchup?
Well, that's not bad. We did that last Friday night.
Well, we'll do it again this Friday night.
And the Lions lost. Eskimos won yesterday, so they're up by that. Working out.
Yeah, they're up by that single point. So we'll have the 2 first place teams there for you.
Andrew Gregg lost the ball. Alouettes have it. Mark Washington got his hands on it before it went out of bounds.
Andrew Gregg did not even get hit there. He just let go of that football. And, you know, really, this has been the story for these Hamilton receivers most of the season. Nice job of coming back. Now, he has control. He tried to switch hands. He got it under control there, and then it just popped out on its own. And that's good hustle by Mark Washington. Came from the other side to pick up that fumble. Now he's got a knockdown and a key fumble recovery in this football game.
That evens the turnovers at 2-2.
And you can see how upset Andrew Gregg is. I mean, Andrew Gregg is poised to record his first 1,000-yard season. He's been playing well, and it's uncharacteristic of him, although the receivers have had problems this year with fumbles.
Gonzalez near side, halfway to a first down and maybe a yard more. Tyree Davis.
You know, you think about Gregg. 98, he was 889. 1999, 883. Last year, 878. He's been so close to that 1,000-yard mark and not been able to go over it. And right now he's on pace for 1,070. But you know what? No matter what happens the rest of this game, the play he'll remember tomorrow is that drop right down there.
2nd and 3. Fumbled the exchange. Pringle hasn't got it. Ticats do. Jason Lamar comes up with a fumble, and he's wrestled down by the quarterback, Danny Gonzalez.
Lamar's got the fumble, John. Chris Schelling made the play. Schelling shot through the gap and was in the backfield, and he disrupted the entire timing of the play.
Rookie quarterback to the veteran running back, and they just never got together on this one.
Watch Schelling shoot the gap. He's right in the backfield. And when he's back there, now Mike Pringle tried to sidestep him and lost the handle. Lamar picks up the fumble. Watch Schelling, number 30, shoot in there. He is right in there on Bruno Heppel before he can get a chance to set up to block him. That disrupts the play, and Lamar gets the fumble recovery. So we'll give you one, you give us one back.
Turnover for turnover. Oh, Lamar's return 24 yards. Ticats set up just outside the 40. Bootleg. McManus dropped again. Oh my, that was Montreal.
That sun has got to be a problem at that point on the field there in that corner. The guys are looking right back into the sun over there right now, and we've seen, I saw Corey Grant a couple of series ago just lose it. That ball's low, but Mike Morreale's got to come up with that catch. The only thing I can think of is his son is right in his eyes.
2nd and 10, Ticats. Should be final play of the 3rd quarter. Hamilton on top by 3. McManus under the cover. Troy Davis away from 1, runs it for a first down. Nice play. Mark Washington forced him out.
You always want your running back to make the first tackler miss, and this time it's a pretty good tackler in Stephon Reed. Made a miss and got the first down.
Ticats will get a chance to hit the end zone when we come back for quarter 4 in Hamilton.
Wendy's, CFL live at the quarter.
And it remains a tight ball game. Welcome back inside the studio. Dave, Eric, Matt, and Chris with you. An eventful final few minutes of the 3rd quarter. A couple of turnovers going either way. But, Eric, it remains a 3-point ball game. And Montreal's got to be happy when you consider that their starting quarterback's out of it.
Yeah, Dave, I think it is anybody's game, but I think the Ticats fans are the ones that ought to be happy right now, in particular with that last turnover. Jason Lamar picking up the punt, because while they're ahead 15-12, they just are still letting Montreal hang around. I mean, you know, you see an offense once again, and I'm talking about the Ticats offense, that is not finishing drives. They block the punt. What do they get? A field goal. If you let a good team like Montreal hang around, even as well as this Hamilton defense is playing, bad things can happen, Matt.
No, it's 15-12. You can't talk offense in a game that is 15-12. You got to talk defense, and you need speed to play in this Canadian Football League when you're playing linebacker. And it's exactly what we see Kelly Wiltshire do here. Plays a run, sees it out, bounces outside, and tracks down to Troy Davis. Kelly Wiltshire picking up his play as well as the Montreal Alouettes, and they know that the starting quarterback's down, so a little more pressure's on their shoulders. Wiltshire and company, if they continue to come up with plays like that, Chris, they are going to stay in this football game.
Well, Matty, I'm going to steal your observation, because on that fumble by Pringle, it was Danny Gonzalez that had the football a little bit too high for the running back to take a nice, clean, smooth handoff. And it really bodes to the fact that when you have a second-string quarterback in there, it's not just the passing game, it's just the basic fundamentals of the football game, because Dan Gonzalez has not worked with Mike Pringle day after day after day like Anthony Calvillo has. And that was a key factor in this game, and it may determine the game, David.
Fourth quarter has been a problem defensively for the Ticats. They've allowed an average of 12 points in every fourth quarter over the course of the season, and that could be a problem in a tight ball game like this. Back to Ivor Wynn.
Great time at Ivor Wynn this afternoon. We're ready for the 4th quarter. Here are the numbers.
That
3
and that equals that. You can run the football effectively. Montreal's been able to do that. Your time of possession will be better than the other teams. Because remember, Montreal's playing with their backup quarterback.
3 turnovers by the Alouettes, 2 by the Tiger Cats. And now the first play of the final quarter. First down, Tiger Cats at the Montreal 28.
We're going to restart this whole thing.
Reset the game clock to 15 minutes, and reset the 20.
We'll just start from scratch in the fourth quarter.
Getting tucked into your left ear.
Somebody a little anxious there. McManus, shotgun, toss for Flutie, and he missed.
Well, there's 2 things about this. He had Darren Flutie if he can get this ball down a little bit, but the other thing is what will happen next. Darren Flutie's going to come across the middle. What you won't see is Corey Grant going in behind. Watch how Lester Smith will jump up, and there he is, number 36 on Darren Flutie. Look for Danny McManus to go back to the same play very shortly, and this time throw it in behind to Corey Grant. If the safety's going to jump Darren Flutie that quickly and Lester Smith, Corey Grant should be open in behind him. And you know Danny McManus saw it.
2nd and 10. Under the cover this time. Akins can't escape. Glenn Young wrapped him up, number 55. So it looked promising for the Tiger Cats to begin the fourth quarter, but they'll settle for another field goal try from Paul Osbaldiston.
This is turning into a kick-out.
As opposed to a cookout on Sunday afternoon?
Well, as opposed to a shootout. It's a kick-out.
Well, they haven't missed yet, have they? Osbaldiston 2 for 2.
2 veterans banging away here.
And Baker has made everything as well. This from 31 from Osbaldiston. And the Ticats restore a 6-point lead. It's Wendy's CFL Live from Ivor Wynn in Hamilton. NFL on TSN tonight. Cowboys, Eagles, live from Philadelphia. Kickoff 7:30.
Philadelphia 1-1. Dallas 0-2 start. A whole bunch of people just loving that too, watching Dallas go down.
Emmitt Smith, number 2 rusher all time in the NFL, and that was good news for Dallas fans. But you don't feel too sorry for Cowboy fans ever, do you?
No.
Returning for the Alouettes, looking for a little room near side. Nice move there, and a flag comes down after that. 38 on the return, 67 on the kickoff. Durden, or on the kick, I should say, and Durden ran a punt back 85 yards against the Tiger Cats earlier this season.
Major foul, face mask, Hamilton number 7.
Reggie Durden generated that face mask because he didn't run out of bounds. He got to the sideline and that tried to get a couple more yards and drew the face mask, so he'll get 15 more.
Kyle Walters is number 7.
Mike Pringle is knocking on the doorstep. He's very close to his 66th 100-yard rushing game.
And that would tie him with the great George Reed.
23 yards away.
77 for Pringle so far. 78, 79, 80.
Well, those were 3 hard ones. Jason Lamar in there with Mike Philbrick, and those were 3 hard yards or 4 hard yards. 81 yards now and counting, and that would tie George Reed. Of course, Mike Pringle did a little quicker than Mr. Reed. You look at their overall careers.
Second down and 6 for the Alouettes. Trailing by 6 at 18-12. A rookie at quarterback for Thomas Haskins. Nice move around the corner for Haskins. He's a little shy of the first down.
Well, if you're Rod Russ right now and you're about a yard and a half, it helps in the decision-making process when you do have Mike Pringle. You know, because whether you give him the ball or not, you're going to at least have 3/4 of that Hamilton defense
thinking it's going to Pringle, right?
Keyed on Pringle. The offensive line are always waving in this instance to say, let's go. They're waving that let's go and get it. He wants to go and get it. And guess what? Rod Russ says, all right, you guys want it, go get it.
Third down, 1 to go. A little noisy at Iverwin all of a sudden, as Ticat fans want to disrupt this rookie Montreal quarterback, Danny Gonzalez. Should be enough for a first down, I think, up and over the top.
Oh yeah, it's right on it. I mean, it was a long yard. They had to get on the other side of the 40-yard line. Really depends on where the official puts his foot down. But I think you're right, Johnny. It looks like he's got enough.
Pringle, the decoy, Happel. Bruno Happel up and over the top.
And it is enough.
I thought he made it. You started making me believe that I was wrong.
No, Hawkeye, you're bang on. I see you. I smell what you're cooking.
So the drive continues for the Alouettes. Lots of time for Montreal to get to the end zone here. Intercepted far side. That's Saunders racing all the way to the 40-yard line, and he stepped out.
Well, there's a flag on the field. Troy Saunders was in better position than any Montreal receiver.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton, number 6. First down.
That's why he was in better position than any Montreal receiver.
Well, that's a way to get an interception, but it won't count. So take away 1 turnover there.
Well, there's some that feel if you're not cheating, you're cheating yourself. Troy Saunders tried to go with that theory, and they got caught. And Ron Lancaster's unhappy with it.
He hates the call, but that's understandable. Everybody in Hamilton hates the call, but it stands. It's 1st and 10. Alouettes at the Ticat 23. Mike Pringle, nowhere to go. He lost a little. Gonzalo Foy.
Now that comes off the total to get to 100. He had 81 before that run.
Lost 2.
Now it's 79.
You're getting so good with the mathematics.
Well, I'm pretty good when it comes to subtracting 2. This is a big down for Dan Gonzalez now.
2nd and 12.
He knows one thing. Mr. Mumford's got his ears pinned back. He's coming. He's on that tight end side again on Kevin Lusruth.
3 receivers to the far side. Who will he pick? Looking deep. Touchdown! Sylvain Girard has a touchdown. His 2nd of the season.
What a catch by Girard. He fought off the defender, and he also fought off the sun. Seen a couple of Hamilton defenders in that corner having problems with the sun. Here comes the throw out to the outside in the corner pattern. Gerald Vaughn turns around. He fights off Gerald Vaughn and the sun to make a great catch in the corner.
Danny Gonzalez should save the ball. That was his first CFL touchdown pass. And this for the lead. A convert by Terry Baker. It's 18-18 here in Hamilton. Cahoon has it down. Terry Baker hammers it through. Sylvain Girard has the touchdown from the rookie at quarterback, Danny Gonzalez. Sylvain Girard has a touchdown on 2 catches tonight. 56 yards, 25-yard touchdown strike from rookie Danny Gonzalez.
I'm going to show you the 3 challenges Sylvain Girard had on this corner pattern. 3 obstacles that faced him. Ball's in the air. The first one is right there. Gerald Vaughn. Second, the sideline. And the third is the sun. Fought all 3 off.
Ticats looking to break loose on the kickoff after the touchdown. And finally, Davis is rolled out. Troy Davis, a 34-yard return after the kickoff. Here's the scoring drive brought to you by UPS, moving at the speed of your business.
It's a nice throw by Dan Gonzalez to cap off that scoring drive to Sylvain Girard. 25-yard throw to the outside. Girard makes sure that the 3 challenges he faced were just obstacles, not roadblocks. Went up and around him. Comes up with a nice touchdown catch. He's put back-to-back games together now, Sylvain Girard.
4 catches, 105 yards last week, and a losing cause against the Bombers. This is a long way from over with Danny McManus at the controls for the Tiger Cats. As Dwayne Ford, number 37. Ball is loose. Still loose. Alouettes look to have recovered. Glenn Young comes up with the ball, number 55.
Well, pretty much everyone from the Montreal Alouettes secondary and linebacking core had a shot at Dwayne Ford. You know, I mean, Dwayne Ford is trying to get extra yards on the play, but he took 1 too many. Here comes the first one. Eric Reddick. Here comes Stephon Reed. There's another one. Mark Washington. And it's Washington that knocks it out of there. Mark Washington just made his 3rd big play of this football game.
6th turnover of the game, 3 each. More turnovers here than at the Stampede breakfast. When they're flipping the flapjacks.
Ba-doom boom.
It's the Alouettes by 1. First down, Montreal just outside the 40-yard line. Pringle has more.
You know, Mark Washington, sometimes you play in that secondary and you can have a quiet day. It can be your best day. You know, Mark Washington on that 3rd down gamble early in the game by the Hamilton Tiger Cats had the key knockdown. Then he had a fumble recovery down at the bottom right by our booth here. And now he caused that last fumble by Dwayne Ford. 3 huge plays in this football game for Mark Washington, who's back in there chatting things over with Lester Smith.
Pringle picked up 6. 2nd and 4. And he'll be a little shy of the first down here, getting just to the 50-yard line.
Well, they were a long yard when they gambled and won in the last series. This will be 2 yards for the Montreal Alouettes if Rod Russ decides to gamble. So far heading into this game, he's had success gambling on 3rd down. He's had 12.
It's not a good time to gamble, Glenn. It's a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards, and Baker comes in and he can punt it and pin the Ticats deep.
He's had success. He's about 75% when he does gamble, but you're right, this is a bit long. 2 yards.
And there's lots of time to go. 8:16 remaining.
And you have your rookie quarterback at the controls.
So Rod Rust is agreeing with us, kicking it away. Well, I actually saw Baker sneaking out of the field before I said that.
He made the decision. We're agreeing with him.
Baker had one go out the side of his foot there. Corey Grant still standing. Not long after that, crossed the 35. He's dropped at the 38 by Bruno Happel. 8 on the return, 34 on the punt. It's a 1-pointer in Hamilton this afternoon. Here's the game story brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Calvillo out in the first half. Dan Gonzalez has played fairly well in relief. Turnover 3 for both teams. That includes the block punt by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And Pringle's ever so close to that 66th 100-yard rushing game, tying George Reed.
Ticats need support from all of their fans here at this point in the afternoon. It's the Alouettes on top by a point. First down, Hamilton, Troy Davis for 5.
You know, when you've been out for quite a while, as Lester Smith has, you take your opportunity in that first game to try and get involved as much as you can. Lester Smith right in the middle of your screen. Now watch Smith. He sees it's a running play. Look how quickly he wants to get involved. Get in there and throw your hat in there. Been out all season long with a spinal infection. Practiced the last 3 weeks and first chance to play tonight.
Early movement, flags are down. McManus looking for Davis. Intercepted almost into the hands of Eric Riddick and out again. Penalty coming, however.
Well, Tim Fleiser jumped in that line of scrimmage, John, and I thought it was offside Montreal, free play for McManus.
Offside, Montreal, number 58. Repeat second down.
Arkel Trulock playing for Montreal on that opposite end. Swift Birch in his second game with the Alouettes. Fleiser was also offside in the middle of that defensive line, but Trulock got a good start. Played in his first game last week, had a sack.
2nd and 1. Big hit on Davis, but he had about 4 yards to spare.
It's Trulock again. Former Saskatchewan Rough Rider. Released by Saskatchewan. Got a chance to play in Montreal. He played in arena football this year and was actually the first most valuable player as a pure defensive player in arena football. Arkel Trulock.
Who was he with? Iowa?
Played with Detroit with Rich Stubler.
See, that's my favorite arena
Iowa.
team. Iowa Barnstormers. I just think that's a great name. McManus on the money again.
That's a great read.
Darren Flutie has another reception and another first down.
This is where that chemistry comes through between Darren Flutie and Danny McManus, because Flutie against zone defense may be the best in the game. Takes a look down the field, he sees what he has in front of him and just sits down in the zone. And that ball arrives at about the same time.
15 yards for Darren Flutie. First down, Tiger Cats.
You know, this is a big drive for McManus to not only get into field goals position, but he needs a major here to force the pressure on Dan Gonzalez.
From the 42, McManus cocks and fires. Andrew Gregg lost the ball again. And I think the Alouettes might have come up with it. No, hang on. It'll be a Tiger Cat ball again. Tony Akins. So a couple of miscues for Andrew Gregg. But Akins saved the bacon there. 19 yards the gain.
Well, they've been doing this all season long, and another one comes out of there. This one, I believe there was some contact, though. Andrew Gregg right there. Actually, the ball came out just before the contact.
Second.
And Washington again involved in getting that one out of there. And Hamilton Tiger Cats better start securing that football. They may be running for an entire day tomorrow. Ron Lancaster has his way.
Alouettes have the lead by a point. Troy Davis has the ball.
Now, I was mentioning earlier why it's important that Danny McManus finds a way to get that football in the end zone on this drive. If he comes away with a field goal now, it's a 2-point spread, and it takes the pressure completely off Dan Gonzalez's shoulders. Now he just needs field goal position. A major now makes Dan Gonzalez drive the length of the field and score a major to match it.
Second and 7. McManus steps up, fires to the end zone, too far. Looking for Flutie.
Yeah, guess who was covering him?
Yeah, it was 23.
Mark Washington. Yeah, Mr. Washington. What a game he is putting together. We talked about the knockdown, the fumble recoveries. Again, it's the wheel route. Washington's going to be in coverage. He gets beat on the turn, but watch him catch up. To the outside, then Darren Flutie. Now he's got a couple of yards there, but look at him catch up. Keep his eyes focused on the receiver, catch up, and sooner or later that ball will arrive, and Mark Washington is having himself a game.
Paul Osbaldiston, 3 for 3 so far. For his 4th of the afternoon, yes. And the Ticats retake the lead by 2, 21-19.
That's 4 game-changing plays from Mark Washington. If he doesn't knock down that gamble, Ticats take huge momentum in the first half. That was that 3rd down gamble. Ron Lancaster and Danny McManus tried that bootleg. That's the first half. He's caused a fumble and got a fumble recovery, and then he covered Darren Flutie on 2nd down there. Wow.
Highlights of this and everything else that has happened this day in sports coming your way with Corey Warren at Sports Center right after CFL Live. TSN tonight. Well, he would have liked to have had the 7.
Sure would have. And you know, that's a win for Montreal. It really is. In this type of game, now you're just down by 2 points. And you can see how that Montreal defense has brought their game up with the loss of Anthony Calvillo and Mike Pringle for some of it in the first half on offense.
However, 3:34 to go. Chance for lots of scoring before we say good afternoon or good evening from Ivor Wynn. Durden to the right, Haskins to the left, ready to return. This is Reggie Durden. Uzika leading the Ticat tacklers there. Well, can Mike Pringle do it this afternoon? Can he surpass George Reed? Well, most career 100-yard games. I should say tie George Reed, really, because that's where he's at. He's at 65, Reed with 66 in his career.
Now the challenge for Don Southern. He knows that Pringle's going to see the ball in this series. Does he commit Rob Hitchcock to the run and bring him out of the middle, exposing the middle of that defense?
A 2-point game. First down, Montreal. Thomas Haskins makes the catch. Tries to make something happen after it, and he lost yards. From where he was, at least when he made the catch, actually lost 1 yard. So it'll be 2nd and 11 Alouettes. 3 minutes to go, and Ivor Wynn in Hamilton on Wendy's CFL Live. This is where it's a lot of fun to coach football without question. Final 3 minutes, 2-point ball game. It's all on the line.
Yeah, and there's a groove where Ron Lancaster is pacing back and forth. Rod Russ with more of the stand still and stare technique. Lancaster's got the pace and stare technique.
But this is what it's all about. This
You gotta
is
love
a
it.
part of the game for coaches. 2nd and 11 Montreal. They trail by 2.
Mumford.
Mumford just missed. Gonzalez found his man. Cahoon has not been that busy this afternoon, but he makes his 2nd catch.
What a move by Joe Mumford. Gonzalez got rid of that football just in time. Watch this move by Mumford to get right in Gonzalez's face. Upfield, good hard, strong left hand on Ozumo Keke, and somehow Dan Gonzalez completes that pass with Mumford right on him.
He may be a little shy here. The measurement is about to be made.
That's standing in there with poise with Joe Mumford. Boy, you've been bang on with those, haven't you?
Half a football to spare.
What a move from Mumford. Let's see what he brings this time. They're playing 3 offensive linemen to his side every play now.
First down, Alouettes. It's a noisy play. Ivor Wynn in the final 3 minutes here. Pringle stays in the block, and Gonzalez couldn't make the connection, but he gets a flag in the coverage on Tyree Davis.
Well, talk about some young players gaining some much-needed experience. That time, Kevin Lesfred, who's been playing that tight end and had to block Mumford.
Pass interference. Hamilton, number 26.
Dedrick Mathis wears 26 for the Tiger Cats.
Kevin Lesfred on Joe Mumford one-on-one, and he does a number on him. They're right on the corner here. Look at this. Set hands outside, keeps his head in there and his feet moving, and keeps Mumford away from Dan Gonzalez.
Net result, 16 more for the Alouettes. First down, Montreal. Gonzalez looking for the home run ball. Oh! Davis had it and dropped it. Tyree Davis.
Again, that's a perfect throw. Boy, Dan Gonzalez is getting some much-needed experience, and he's really taking advantage of it. I mean, that'll go down as an incompletion to Gonzalez, but that was straight dropped football and one Tyree Davis should have had. Right over the shoulder, right on the spot. Diedrich Mathis maybe just got a hand in there at the right time. Anthony Calvillo's been sidelined for the second half.
This is 2nd and 10 Alouettes. Gonzalez from the shotgun. Looking into double coverage. Yep. Rob Hitchcock was there and waiting.
Well, if you're a Montreal fan, that is really as good as a punt. There was nothing open for Dan Gonzalez downfield.
And on 2nd and 10, they're way out of field goal range for Baker. His longest 52, so that would have been, I shouldn't say way out, but it would have been a tough try.
Yeah, they're out of field position. Plus, he had lost yardage when he rolled out. So, yeah, it's 2nd down. There was no one open on the play. Dan Gonzalez was either going to throw that away and force a 3rd down punting situation, or he was going to get sacked. Either way, Montreal, now it's as good as a punt. They're down there on the 15-yard line. The Hamilton Ticats take over, although it goes in the stats as an interception for Rob Hitchcock.
3rd in the season for Hitchcock. McManus has the ball back just outside the 15. Quick toss. Darren Flutie.
Kelly Wiltshire got caught there. He tried to show blitz a little bit and then got caught too far inside and was really out of the passing lane for Darren Flutie. Trying to show Danny McManus a little bit of blitz and then bail out of there, but McManus caught him with a quick count. That means he asked for the football under the center quicker, didn't let Wilshire a chance to get back in position.
Gain is 5. Ticats at the Hamilton 23. There are flags down. This guy is tough to bring down this afternoon. Troy Davis having a pretty nice day for Hamilton.
Well, it was a free
straight up the middle.
It was a free play for the Ticats anyway. Torrey Hunter was coming on a blitz from the halfback position, and he was tightrope walking that line.
Offside. Montreal, number 90. Penalty decline. First down.
Yeah, it was actually number 9, Montreal, not number 90. Torrey Hunter is offside on the play, so it's a free play, but great leg drive from Troy Davis. 1, 2, 3 Montreal tacklers, and he took him for a ride.
19 yards straight ahead for Troy Davis. Can't get away this time. Wrapped up by Glenn Young.
Glenn Young read this and was in behind center Carl Coulter before the snap of the football, and that's tough because he's the center. Watch Glenn Young shoot this gap and be in position. Ball snapped, beats the block right there by Paul Lampert and is in the backfield.
Loss is 4. McManus looking at 2nd and 14. He'll get the first down or very close to it. The go-to guy is Darren Flutie again.
John, Danny McManus knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football for a simple reason. He took Dwayne Ford, the fullback, and he ran him out to the outside, and he knew one thing. Now he's got zone defense, and he's got his go-to guy, Darren Flutie, in a zone concept. He goes inside on him, and he's got, look at all that open space that Flutie had to run in to get that football. By moving Dwayne Ford out of the formation early, it made the Montreal Alouettes declare their defense.
Ticats do come up a yard shy. 1 minute on the clock unofficially here at McMahon. A gamble did not work out for the Tiger Cats in the first half, remember? Now the game is on the line. What are you thinking of doing here?
Well, you gotta, I mean, you're about a yard away. You go ahead and gamble and get this first down. If you're Hamilton, then you seal the victory. Yeah, and I think you're Ron Lancaster, you play to win the game. Remember, on that third down gamble they didn't get, they tried to trick Montreal with that play action and get Danny McManus outside. I doubt they'll do that here.
Full house backfield for the Tiger Cats and whistles everywhere.
Yeah, they blew that dead. They blew that dead before the snap of the football.
There's a timeout before the play, Montreal.
They called that timeout just before the play, so now the clock says 48 seconds. It was 1 minute even before the play. If they called that timeout, then they should be 1 minute even again.
Yeah, they have to put some time back on the clock. They had a problem with that a little bit earlier.
Those are valuable seconds if you're the Montreal Alouettes down by 2.
21-19, Ticats on top. The Kickers have had an afternoon here.
And they're checking with the clock right now, down right in front of our broadcast booth. Make sure that they have that time accurate.
Well, the Tiger Cats, if they can hang on, and there's no guarantee of that quite yet with a minute to go.
Well, now the other thing is Rod Russ can't stop the clock again with the timeout. So if this Hamilton gamble is successful for Ron Lancaster, they can pretty much end the football game.
Well, they haven't put any time back on the clock officially here. They don't get the first down. Dwayne Ford.
No way.
Stopped dead in his tracks.
Oh, boy. It has been a defensive game, and that may be the biggest play yet. Oh, man.
Well, 2 first downs, and the Alouettes are in Baker range.
That offensive line for Hamilton never really got a drive. See the penetration there by the Montreal front 4? Tim Fleiser's in the backfield. Stephon Reed from the backside. Steve Charbonneau got a great push. That's just team defense. And the second gamble that didn't work for Ron Lancaster.
Alouettes have a chance. They begin at the 50 with 44 seconds on the clock. There's a rookie at quarterback, but there's Mike Pringle in the backfield. Only about 3 yards along the ground for Pringle.
Terry Baker's longest field goal attempt, John, has been 52 yards this year. He's been perfect inside of 40.
4 for 4 today, Terry Baker. I hate to mention this, but he has nailed 20 straight field goals.
Well, for those of the football fans who saw us on Friday Night Football in Winnipeg, field goal is not a guaranteed deal. BC had a chance to win in Winnipeg and didn't do it.
2nd and 7. Gonzalez near side. Had a target. No catch. Yes, it was. He got it. He got the ball. This is Copeland racing for the end zone. Down to the 20-yard line. Jermaine Copeland stayed with the football. Concentration was perfect, and all of a sudden it rolled right back into his hands without touching the ground.
Everybody on the field for Hamilton thought that Copeland was down. The ball pops out there and he's tackled, but he doesn't have the football at this point. Now he's got
No, he doesn't.
No, the ball
now he's
got control, and no one's touched him. No one's touched him. That's an unbelievably tough play to call by the official, and they were bang on to not blow the whistle.
This is an amazing play. Again, Copeland touches it first. It goes off the Ticat defender. Copeland's hand, left hand over to his right hand.
You saw
it's
Troy.
The right call, Glenn. It's absolutely the right call.
No question. It's the right call. And Troy Saunders was over there celebrating. Didn't realize that Copeland still had it in his hands. See, he never has control. Even though he's down here, he never has control of the ball, so the officials don't blow the whistle. He doesn't have control yet.
But it hasn't touched the turf.
Now he does have control, and you see no one's touching it. So he can get up and run. And now they'll attempt this field goal with 12 seconds left. Because remember, on Friday night, the Lions tried a field goal with 11 seconds left and fumbled the snap or bobbled it, didn't get it on the tee. Had they taken that hit, tried to kick again, they would have had another chance, and that's exactly what Montreal's thinking right here. Try it now. If the snap is bobbled by Ben Cahoon,
he's going to fall on the ball, hopefully.
That's right. They get another chance to kick the field goal.
Something the Lions didn't do the other night.
That's right.
And ended up kicking on first down, missing the field goal and giving the ball back to the Blue Bombers to finish out the final 12 seconds.
You know, and that's something that was sort of the talk of the town here as we walked out on the field. Everyone's saying, did you see that game Friday? You know, and now they're ready for that same situation. You kick on first down. Really, because you're well within Terry Baker's range, you have time for 3 attempts if you bobble 2 snaps.
Terry Baker 4 for 4 today. He has hit 20 straight field goals in the midst of a super season. This for the victory over the Tiger Cats, and there's early movement there. Baker hammers it through.
Unbelievable.
Well, barring a miracle, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have really handed this right to the Montreal Alouettes. When you think about what they could have accomplished here this afternoon with a victory, there was still a chance for Hamilton with one more game against Montreal to finish out the season, to finish
Hamilton 77.
To finish in second place ahead of Montreal if all the ducks lined up and were in order. This pretty well means that the Tiger Cats won't get any farther than third.
2 third-down gambles that they didn't pick up.
And right now the Tiger Cats have a 2-point advantage. Oh my God! It's blocked, rolling into the end zone. Chance for the Tiger Cats to hang on and win. Corey Grant in the end zone.
You have got to be kidding me.
Baker had hit 20 straight field goals. 20 in a row. You gotta love CFL football. We've seen some great finishes this season.
Well,
how do you believe that? I mean, Lancaster's Tiger Cats almost handed it to Montreal. A chip shot field goal from 23 was all the Alouettes needed for the victory.
Unbelievable. And you wonder where the saying came from. It's never over till it's over.
Never over till it's over.
Well, all I have to do is watch the 2 games we showed you on TSN. And again, a bobble snap by Ben Cahoon. The timing was not there. Ben Cahoon bobbled that snap. The timing wasn't there for Baker. It is blocked. If Ben Cahoon falls on the football, they kick it again. They didn't learn from Friday.
No, they didn't. They did not learn from Friday. So the Blue Bombers in first place in the East continue to hold 4 points as an advantage on Montreal.
I've seen it all.
I think I have too.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
There it is. What a 4th quarter. What an eventful, hard-hitting, close game. Hamilton wins it, Eric Tillman. A wild one.
What a great win for Hamilton. Once again, special teams come up big. A blocked punt, a blocked field goal, and they are absolutely dancing in the streets in Winnipeg because now they're up by 2 games over Montreal and the tiebreaker. In very simple terms, if they win 2 of the remaining 5 games, Montreal has to win out all 5 games or Winnipeg's first.
Eric, I saw it all week long. Every game in the Canadian Football League this week was just like this. Exciting football, big plays defensively, more defensively than offensively this week, mind you, and then great play on special teams. And again, special teams was the difference again today, Chris.
Yeah, it was. And for Montreal, I thought Dan Gonzalez looked pretty good as a backup quarterback, and good job on Joe Montford using that tight end. I'm going to be interested to see if other teams incorporate that technique.
And now Montreal's looking at Hamilton in the rearview mirror. They're just 2 wins back of them for second spot in the East. Our next game is Wendy's Friday Night Football. Top 2 teams in the West and the East divisions, the Bombers and the Eskimos. Coming up next, Corey's got the full recap on Sports Center. 21-20, a thriller at Ivor Wynn. Thanks for watching, everybody. You have been watching TSN, Canada's sports leader.